Welcome back. It's time for the dailies. And don't worry, we're not venting this time. We just give you, as it is, everything that you'd meet if you were to pick up any of the dailies this morning. Sharing that with me is the delectable Titi. You're welcome. Thank you very much, lady in pink. Let's start with The Guardian, shall we? I'm going to do this. There's plenty to talk about from The Guardian's front page. Road infrastructure development, FG grants 4 trillion naira tax credit in 5 years as inflation threatens scheme. If you go down to the chart, however, you'd find that the chart explains that inflation may slow down that pace. There's plenty to unpack from that. I'll come back to it. Panic on OAU campus as lion kills zookeeper, injures another. This zookeeper is the very one zookeeper who's taken care of these animals since from birth. Wow. But eventually, there's a video of the animal being, it said euthanized, but that's not actually euthanasia. What they did was shoot it. I'm hoping with darts, then that's euthanization. We'll come back to that.
The tranquilizer, I guess.
The tranquilizer, then that's euthanization. Yeah. But I'll explain the impact and differences eventually when we get to other papers. EFCC grills Kwara ex-governor for alleged financial impropriety. And protest over hardship spreads to Oyo as 26 million Nigerians grapple with hunger. There was that story from Ibadan yesterday. Zulum sacks IDP camp, boss for wash facilities diversion. Let's move on to another paper which you might have, and we'll take the iterations from there. Okay. What do you have?
I have the Nation newspaper here with me. It says, diversion of 10 billion naira. EFCC detains ex-Kwara governor Ahmed's trial slated for Ilorin. He's ready to take questions on his stewardship, it says. It also says here, why cement can't sell below 7,000 naira by manufacturers. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 5. Chief Justice of Nigeria, NBA, Aye Datiwa, extol Akeredolu, and court valedictory for ex-governor. That's the story right there on the cover and heading over to page 4. No time to scrap LCDAs, says Aye Datiwa. And, of course, that story again, lion kills zookeeper at OAU. Discos threaten power cut. That's on the top left there. It says power cut to Aso Villa, others, over 47 billion naira debt. Oyo disperses 500 million naira to 2,078 small business owners.
I'm going to go back to the story about the zoo in OAU. What had happened, now this is a 9-year-old lion, which is definitely coming to maturity and everything. Sure. However, there have been complaints about the state of which these animals have been kept in the past. Even if you take a look at the lion currently, or rather before its death, you'd find out that it wasn't in the best state, first off. You've got it coming into maturity, you've got it underfed.
Yeah.
Things are bound to happen. It's very unfortunate that this happened, but the truth is there could have been other arrangements from before to make sure that these things were well taken care of so that they do not see that their caretakers as prey. That's one. A lot of other stories, a lot of other concepts or theories have also come up.
Funny enough, there are a lot of animal rights organizations that could be approached to be part of a process of, securing the lives of these precious
Noting that
animals.
this is an endangered species.
Yes, because an endangered species, just reaching out to them internationally, they even could be funded. It's
That's
just
the point.
that we don't know where that funding has gone.
True. Very true.
But when you think about it, when you think about even a large dog, how much food a large dog consumes compared to a lion, you're talking about small animals being its actual menu. So it must be expensive. But it's really sad to hear that the zookeeper was the victim in this case.
Let's move on now to the Vanguard, shall we? Forex crisis, 2024 budget suffers major dislocation. Benchmark exchange rate now half the value. Revenue expenditure estimates unrealistic. Analysts see profligacy pushing up deficit to 20 trillion naira. So much about the finances of Nigeria. Edo 2024 APC Youth Women take over Secretariat. One sack of SWC. There's more. FG cement manufacturers agree on 7,000 naira to 8,000 naira for 50 kilograms per bag. And Wale Cardoso, SEC management team visits Wigway's parrots. Now, regarding cement and the price of cement, 7,000. You said, I think last week it was argument that it was actually 5,000 naira from the manufacturers if you were to use the Dangote variant.
Yeah.
However, by the time it gets to Lagos or anywhere else, even by the time it gets to Abuja, guess how much it's being sold for? 15,000 naira per bag. And that's a problem. But the people who are distributing this will actually argue that, have you calculated the cost of me buying it at 7,000 naira from Obajana and then transporting it down here to Lagos? With the increase of fuel, or is it diesel? The amount of time it takes to get here, the people I have to pay and all of that, it becomes over twice the price. There's still so much to talk about when it comes to the finances of Nigeria. I took a look at your pensions, for instance.
For instance, yes.
Whatever it is that you've got inside of your pensions that might have seemed like a large sum from before.
It's worth less than half of what it used to be, which is why. So we had this finance conversation yesterday, Winfrey and I, and we talked about even people with the savings culture needing to realize that no matter how long you've been saving for, how much you've been saving, even if
eroding.
It's 5K going into your piggy every month, it's not worth the 5,000 it was when it started 5 years ago. So saving might not be the way to go. It's actually more favorable for you to use your funds and use it for whatever you want to use it for now before it becomes less than worth it.
All right.
But on the price of cement, having the idea that just the foundation of a small bungalow, for instance, needs about 150 bags, it's taken real estate and construction up double what it was last year.
We've only got time for one more paper. Let's do the Punch newspaper real quick. Labour mobilizes for protests. Tanker drivers strike triggers fuel queues. This is happening now. FG meets drivers, fueling stations shut in Abuja, Kano, Ogun. Ipman urges dialogue. NLC adamant workers vow to join demonstration as oil protesters lament hunger. EFCC detains ex-Kwara governor, and Aso Villa DHQ CBN face disconnection over 47 trillion naira debt. Senate asks FIRS to suspend 17 trillion naira tax waivers. And there's a photo story of the protesters from yesterday in Oyo State and other headlines from under. Do you want to take on any of these real quick before we go?
Honestly, the idea of Aso Villa being disconnected, it does trigger a chuckle in the bottom of my belly. Because I don't think it's going to happen.
Of course.
But obviously, it being said that it could happen.
Gives you an idea of the situation.
Exactly, how serious the situation actually is. But the truth is, the joke is right there. Are we going to see the red ladder outside the... I don't know. How are they planning to do it?
Well,
how are they planning to get there?
save whoever climbs that ladder. In any case, those are the headlines for a Tuesday. We had some more, but we can't take them because we are running out of time. And Winfrey wants us to report inside of the kitchen because there's something exciting happening there. Winfrey, okay. What is happening inside the kitchen, please?